How's it going, everybody? It's Space Cowboy 17 here. Welcome back. In this one, we got to discuss why the Cowboys need to take a tight end in the 2018 NFL Draft. Now, a lot of people might be asking, why do I bring this question up? We got Rico Gathers. What gives? Well, unfortunately, I do have my doubts about Rico Gathers. Now, and it's not because he's making rap tracks or anything. It has everything to do with the fact that we don't know what we're going to get from him. If he's sincerely the successor to Jason Witten, it's all a matter of, do you trust that? Or do you at least get a backup option in a tight end in the draft? So worst case scenario, if Rico can't go and perform, you have another guy that can develop right behind him. Now, there are a couple people out in the draft that we can possibly look at getting. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about using our first round pick. No. I'm referring to our second round pick in the draft. And this is just, the going under the change of becoming a more Dak friendly offense, because we need Dak better receivers that play to his play style. Now, and I'm not trying to say that Jason Witten is bad, but what I'm trying to get at is that Jason Witten, he's getting up there in age, okay? Jason Witten needs, I'm not saying I'm pretty sure he understands, but Father Time's undefeated, and it's only a matter of time until he ends up hanging it up. Now, yes, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about that. The question is, who replaces him? That's probably the biggest question. The Cowboys have tried to draft tight ends to replace him. I mean, probably the most successful one that I have memory of is Martellus Bennett, mainly due to the fact that Martellus was very, very athletic. He could stretch the field, and that is something the Cowboys need from their tight ends. Because this is what's wrong. Another problem with the Cowboys offense is that while the receivers need to work on getting separation, yes, we have phenomenal blocking tight ends that do their job, but at the end of the day, we can't just rely on blocking tight ends. We need tight ends that could stretch the field. I'm not asking for a Gronk type of guy. I'm not asking for, nothing ridiculous. All I'm asking for is someone that can get the job done and can stretch the field. And that's something that we need to do. Obviously, you're not going to be able to replicate Jason Witten's career once again. However, you can provide security to that position by drafting one by drafting a tight end in this year's draft. So again, we need, I stress need, to draft a tight end. You might be asking, well, what do we do with Rico then? Well, with Rico, we keep him because I want to see what he can do, because we couldn't really get a sense of how he could do in the regular season. For all I know, he could end up being one of the better tight end prospects or tight end players that we end up getting, or he ends up just being a scrub. And I don't mean that to be insulting. It's just, in all honesty, we don't know what we're going to get from him, in the regular season. Now, let's get to the prospects that we can possibly look at. So there's a couple that I've been eyeing up. So the first one is Hayden Hurst, tight end, South Carolina. Now, this guy, he is 6'5", 250 pounds, and he is projected to go in either the first or second round. Now, for those that don't know, he will be a 25-year-old rookie, so he definitely will drop because of his age. It's just a matter of, do you want to take an older tight end? Me personally, if Hayden Hurst is there in the second round, you take him. Plain and simple. This dude is too good to pass up on. And considering the fact that he'll end up being 26 by the time Witten's probably gone, I mean, yeah, he is an older tight end, but to be fair, if he can just learn under Jason Witten, I think he'll be an amazing tight end. He has the skill set needed. But anywho, getting further down the list, next we have Mark Andrews, tight end, Oklahoma. Pretty much the same build, 6'5", 250 pounds, but he is a tad bit slower than Hurst. According to this, Hurst had a projected 40 time of 4.65, while Mark Andrews had a projected 40 time of 4.78. Now, obviously, these are projections. I don't know exactly the exact numbers, but he is projected to go in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Now, Mark Andrews is the guy that I think the Cowboys should take. He's 21, 22. They don't really know when he was born. They just say he was born in 96. And I personally think that he's the guy you got to go with if he's there in the 2nd round. You might be saying, well, we need to address the defense and everything. Well, here's my issue. The thing that killed us this season was linebackers and the offense not having a solid passing game. Plain and simple. Yes, the passing game was pretty good early on in the season, considering the fact of how the numbers were projecting, but at the end of the day, it completely faltered and failed us at the end of the season. So we definitely need to take Mark Andrews if he's there, in my opinion. Now, here's a couple other ones that are possible candidates. There's Troy Fumagalli, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Wisconsin. 6'6", 248. Pretty much, he's kind of similar to Hayden Hurst, but he's more raw talent alongside with Dalton Schultz. You know, Dalton Schultz, I'm not really impressed by him. He's from Stanford, so I don't, you know, I haven't really seen a lot from him, so please, you know, I'm going to excuse myself from that. Now, there is one other guy that I will consider. His name's Mike Gesicki. He's from Penn State. Again, even I have trouble pronouncing his name. He's 6'6", 252. He's projected to go between the 2 and 4, the 2nd and 4th rounds. So I think he would be another. If you're looking at getting a tight end late, like 3rd or 4th round, he's definitely a guy to go with at those rounds, especially in the 4th if he's there. You know, I like this guy. He definitely can develop into a solid tight end. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, these tight ends are for developmental purposes, and also they're going to get their playing time too. We need to kind of edge him in, but we can't rush him. And that's why if we take a tight end, right, and then we can possibly end up getting the next guy that comes up. So now you end up having, if Rico comes along and he ends up being a solid player, right, you can end up having 2 tight ends that can stretch the field. It's just a matter of but then also, if you're considering having 4 tight ends on roster, you got Hannah and Swaim, who are excellent run blockers. So clearly, at the end of the day, the Cowboys need to take a tight end prospect. And whether that be in the 2nd round, 4th round, 5th round, I personally think you got to go high on a tight end, because we don't know how much longer Jason Witten can go. And it's only a matter of time until he hangs it up. But anywho, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Cowboys should take a tight end high? Should they even take a tight end at all? Should they bring in a tight end? What do you guys think? Let's have a discussion. Anywho, that's about going to wrap up today's video. If you stayed and watched the whole video, make sure to like and subscribe, because you are the real MVP. And I will be seeing you guys later. Bye-bye, guys.